Here is another English listening comprehension exercise that's going to help us understand native speakers. We're going to listen to a short clip and we're going to try to answer this question. Is she, the person speaking, talking to a tea expert? Sounds like a simple yes or no question, but like we know, it's not always that simple. Take a listen.
Don't let all of the tea snobs tell you what you should or shouldn't like. Everyone's different. If you're completely new, you should try Yorkshire Gold. It's a nice strong brew and a good entry point.
Okay, I'm about to show you everything that she said. Pause now or use the chapters if you want to listen again. Here we go. She said, don't let all of the tea snobs tell you what you should or shouldn't like. Okay, so a tea snob likes expensive, good quality tea, and they have a very strong opinion about what is the right tea. So this can be used negatively. A snob might be quite arrogant. They might look down at other people and say, oh, you shouldn't do it that way. You shouldn't buy that product. Things like that. You can also use it about yourself in a joking way. Oh, I'm a bit of a coffee snob. That's more playful, and you're not saying that you're arrogant. You're just saying that you really like something. So do not let those people tell you what you should or shouldn't like. Everyone's different. If you're completely new, okay, if you are completely new, is she talking to a tea expert? I don't think so. I think she's talking to someone who wants to start trying new teas. You could try Yorkshire Gold. Yorkshire Gold is the brand name of the tea. It's a nice, strong brew. Brew in this case just means drink. It's going to be used as a verb later though. And a good entry point. Okay, an entry point is a way for beginners to get started. If something is a good entry point, it's good, but it's also not going to be very expensive and maybe something that's easy to find in the shops. It's going to be easily available. All right, so she's not talking to an expert. She's talking to somebody who is new and wants to find an entry point or get into drinking tea. Here's the next section. She talks about Tetley. Tetley is another tea brand. Can you summarize her thoughts on it? So what does she think about this brand of tea? Let's listen to the second part.
I'd get a lot of hate for this, but I actually like Tetley. It's quite weak, so you have to let it brew for a few minutes. You can't rush it, but it gives me home comfort vibes. I find myself reaching for it the most. You know what? Get a variety pack.
All right, let's take a look at that. She said, I'd get a lot of hate for this, but I actually like Tetley. It's a strange way to say what she likes. So getting a lot of hate is a lot of people disagreeing with her. So maybe those snobs that she talks about in the beginning, maybe people like that would disagree with what she's saying now. Because she actually, it's like a surprise. I like Tetley. So the impression I'm getting is I like Tetley, but maybe others don't. Maybe it's not considered the best tea. It's quite weak, so not strong. So you have to let it brew for a few minutes. Brewing is when you are letting the tea bag rest in the cup so that the flavor can come out. You need to do that for a while because it's quite weak. You can't rush it, but it gives me home comfort vibes. So this brand, Tetley, it gives them a feeling of comfort and being at home. So maybe this person grew up drinking this kind of tea. They are not trying to say that it is the best tea. I find myself reaching for it the most. This is an interesting expression. So I find myself means I'm not choosing to do this. I just do it out of a habit. I find myself reaching for it. So it's in the cupboard. There's other choices there, but I'm getting Tetley again. I don't know why, mate. I just want it. I just feel like this drink. And then at the last sentence, she kind of changes, kind of shifts a little bit. She says, you know what? Get a variety pack. So now she's saying you can get something with lots of different choices inside. All right. So what's her thoughts on it? It's a favorite of hers. She likes it, reminds her of home. It's comforting, but it's maybe not considered the best or the most popular. That's how I would summarize her thoughts. And now we listen to the very last part of the listing section. At the end, she says, you do you. This is a standalone expression. Let's understand it better and figure out why she used it. Here we go.
You can try Darjeeling, Earl Grey, Lady Grey, Rooibos. There's loads to choose from. You might enjoy something floral or not. Just don't go out and spend 50 quid on a fancy teapot. It's not going to make a difference. Well, not to me, but like I said, I'm no expert. You do you.
All right, let's take a look at that last part. So she was talking about getting a variety pack, like an assortment inside one box. You can try Darjeeling, Earl Grey, Lady Grey, Rooibos. So she's just listing lots of different types of tea. There's loads to choose from. You might enjoy something floral. Floral being like a flowery taste, or not. Just don't go out and spend 50 quid on a fancy teapot. Quid is pounds. It's a slang way of using our currency. So 50 quid, that's a lot of money for a teapot. So she's saying don't spend lots of money on something like that. It's not going to make a difference. So she's giving quite a strong opinion here. She's saying don't do this. But then at the end, she kind of softens it. And she says, well, not to me. It doesn't make a difference to me whether I use a normal kettle or a fancy teapot. But like I said, I'm no expert. You do you. So she's saying that's just her opinion. She is not an expert. Maybe for some people, those snobs or those other experts, a fancy teapot does make a difference. But to her, it doesn't. She's saying that's just my opinion. You do you. So what this expression is doing is it's saying you do what you like or what you want. You do not have to listen to me. I've given you my thoughts, my opinion. You can listen or you can choose not to. So it's softening her advice of saying don't do this, don't buy a fancy teapot. All right, that's why she said it. I hope that you could follow the 3 parts. Now let's try and listen to all 3 parts together one more time, and hopefully it's going to make more sense than the first time round. I'll put the words on the screen, but you might choose to not look. Here we go.
Don't let all of the tea snobs tell you what you should or shouldn't like. Everyone's different. If you're completely new, you should try Yorkshire Gold. It's a nice strong brew and a good entry point. I'd get a lot of hate for this, but I actually like Tetley. It's quite weak, so you have to let it brew for a few minutes. You can't rush it, but it gives me home comfort vibes. I find myself reaching for it the most. You know what? Get a variety pack. You can try Darjeeling, Earl Grey, Lady Grey, Rooibos. There's loads to choose from. You might enjoy something floral or not. Just don't go out and spend 50 quid on a fancy teapot. It's not going to make a difference. Well, not to me, but like I said, I'm no expert. You do you.
All right, now I'm no expert, but I do think that if you're serious about your studying, an extra exercise video might be helpful, but you do you. That was so lame. That was so lame. No, don't. All right. I'm going to edit that out. You know what? Maybe not. Take care.